Ladies and gentlemen, the fucking microphone has been muted this whole time. I definitely apologize for that. Guys, welcome to Roofing Underground. We got another live episode. We're going to come at you real quick today. I'll edit that first shit out. Don't worry about that. It's me, your boy Dave, the Roof Poppy, your favorite roofer's favorite roofer. And we're going to drop a little bit of knowledge on you today. I love being the CEO of a company. It's great being the motherfucking CEO. But to be God's honest with you guys, it takes a lot of gears to run this machine. And so while I do get to wear the badge of honor of being a CEO of a company, I have to give it up to all of the entrepreneurs inside of my business that make this motherfucker work because they are grinding all day long. Guys, my teammates at A5, thank you. I definitely appreciate you. Back to the original point of this. I've got a huge announcement that I need to share with you guys. There is something that we need to share, and I am super happy to share it with you. First of all, to all my cohorts, my buddies, my friends in the roofing industry, I need to ask you a question. Where are you going to be January 29th through February 1st? January 29th through February 1st at SRC. I'm going to be honest with you, man, I heard they made an announcement about 2 weeks ago, and I saw a speaker that they're going to be having at SRC this weekend in Denton, Texas. And the man's name is Kurt Lennington. And when I saw that they had announced Kurt Lennington being at SRC in 2023 in Denton, I knew right off the bat, this is somewhere that I've got to be because this guy has the fucking blueprint. When I tell you, like, there are some people out here carrying the fucking keys to this shit, Kurt Lennington is definitely one of them. And I think that plays into highly what we're going to talk about today. I love sharing my wins and my losses with you guys. I love documenting my journey with y'all through podcasting and through the YouTube. And so all my folks and my friends on Facebook and YouTube, thank you so much for the support. I want to share with you something that I hope to learn more about from the man Kurt Lennington at Lanier Roofing. Hats off to those guys, man. They've built a phenomenal fucking company. Something that I want to share with you today is something that I'm learning actively as we navigate our way through a lot of things, like especially these interior water claims. The foundation that you build your company on is crucially important. It's almost as important as what you plan to do, but how you plan to do it and how you plan to execute these things, these tactics and strategies to generate an income and provide people with a way of life and other sources of income. You have to be specific about the foundation that you're going to be setting for this stuff. I had a conversation with a gentleman that I think is light years above where other people are in the industry. He comes from entrepreneurship, grew, if you're from South Central Texas and Austin, he grew a brand with his father called Smoky Mo's Barbecue. I went to high school with this guy. When they opened up their first one there in Cedar Park, they grew it to a set of stores all across Central Texas, and ultimately exited the business in 2019. We had a conversation because he is now in roofing, and he was like, Dave, what do I need to be focused on? I've got an opportunity to grow this roofing company. And I said, dude, number one, your foundation. You already know what to do because you watched your family. You did it at your previous company, at this Smoky Mo's Barbecue. You were able to replicate and duplicate the success of each individual restaurant, and it all predicated on a system and a process for you doing so. The foundation for your business, if you are in roofing, if you are in restoration contracting, if you are in home service, remodeling, whatever, your system and your process is stupid fucking important. What do you say by that? Well, you have to have a map. You have to know what it is that your employees are supposed to be doing. Your sales guys, your project managers, your sales managers, your production managers, your finance people. You have to have a list of shit from step 1 to step 10 for them to be able to navigate through. So the most important piece of advice I could give you, my first time trying to build a sales team, I realized that I needed to be able to teach them something. I had to be able to get them to understand the process. So I literally wrote it down. You find a door to knock on. You knock on the door. This is what you say. Here's how you get to this point. You have a conversation about the roof. You do the roof inspection. Here's how you take your pictures. Here's the first picture that you take. Here's what you photograph next. Here's how you count up, blah, 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 and give them a fucking checklist to fill off a roof inspection report. Put down the steps. If you can write down the steps, you can teach the steps. Okay. If you can put this down on paper and you can create an outline for what it is that you do, this is how you build your foundation. Because now that you've been able to count out your steps and put them on paper and put fucking information behind them for people to digest and understand why they're doing the steps, you can build this thing out into what will eventually be your whole entire training manual. This is not a secret. If people want to sell you a roofing training manual, how to train your sales reps, all they're doing is reselling a publication and a duplication for other people's. I'll be honest with you. The steps that you're going to require to go through in a retail situation are much different from an insurance restoration, and water mitigation is far more different than just doing a re-roof. There's a little bit more to some of this shit, right? And so your systems and your processes are super important, because if you can teach it, you can train it. You can get it in repetition. You can put it in a place for people to be able to go through step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. This is why I tell my new sales guys, the 4 most important things for you to do are: number 1, canvas effectively. Find a place to knock doors and get out of the fucking truck. Number 2, have a good solid introduction and build rapport and communicate value. That's your value proposition. Number 3, perform a roof inspection. Number 4, educate and empower them on what they can do next. Repeat steps 1, find another door to knock on and get out of the fucking truck. Step 2, step 3, step 4, focus on the first 4 steps as much as you can. If you're in your first month or your first week or your first day of roofing, I'm talking to you right now. Steps 1 through 4 are your best friend. And if you work at a company that's worth a fuck, they'll have the ability to document for you steps 1 through 4 and exactly what you need to do. This is why these companies like Linear Roofing and these companies like Results Roofing, Dustin Gutkowski, oh my God, a phenomenal organization of champions. Shout out to my boy Dustin. But these are the people that are on my radar. The companies that they have built are the ones. These are some of the guys just locally in DFW that I am looking at going, man, you motherfuckers really figured it out. Y'all got the recipe, and I'm watching. And this is how I'm building my framework. Your systems and your processes can be trained. They can be retained. If you can put it on paper and you can step it out for somebody and you can figure out how this individual, this would be the hardest thing for new sales managers to ever do, how this individual thinks and learns. How is this particular sales guy going to retain this information? And let me teach it to him individually in a way in which he'll retain it. That's a hard thing to do, because that requires you to be hyper vigilant and maybe not talk so much and listen more, be a little bit more observant. Salespeople, especially trainers, are used to being the ones talking. But it's when we figure out what our students, our pupils need by listening and paying attention to them. Not everybody's motivated by the same thing. Not everybody thinks and learns the same. If you can teach it and you can train it, they can retain it. But you have to have a system and a process for doing so. That's almost as important as your operations order. Do you have a workflow process? Where does the document get created? At what point in time do you get signatures on paper? How do you come up with the dollar amounts that are on your contract? Who does the scheduling of your crews and the ordering of the material and the material takeoff? Those operational processes from sales to production are also uniquely important. If you can write it down, you can teach it. And then you can find somebody to put into that place. People like doing work that requires them to go through the steps. I don't know if you've ever opened up Mousetrap for the first time, the board game Mousetrap with all the plastic shit and the stairs and the ball and everything. But when it comes out of the box, it comes out in a big clusterfuck of plastic, right? It's just parts and pieces everywhere. And you swear to God, you can't get something to line up. But if you follow the instructions and you go through the steps, you can assemble this crazy Bill Cosby sweater looking fucking thing of colored plastic that a ball and shit travels down and it does something for you. If you follow the process, you can teach somebody to do damn near anything. but you have to be able to write down your fucking process first. And people love doing work that requires them to follow a process. It's almost like a natural thing. The good ones, the talented ones, get more efficient at navigating that process. And those are your rock stars. Those are your star players. Those are the guys that outproduce other people. The ones that say, I bet you I could make this happen a lot quicker. I bet you I could do this a little more efficiently and I could generate more income. That's all I got for you guys today. That's the knowledge and the wisdom that I want to share with you personally today. I felt like this was the lesson that I have learned this past week. We jumped into a project that had one of our project managers got sick, and we had to jump into a interior restoration project, a water mitigation with tile floors and lock and block laminate flooring and baseboards and all sorts of stuff. Our project manager got sick. Shit went all up in the air. And so what happened? As a company, we came together. Our senior PM, myself, a couple of our staff members were out on this job, putting in work, trimming out cabinets, cutting in drywall, texturing walls, hanging doors. Man, I don't know if you've ever replaced a 30-year-old pocket door. That's a son of a bitch. We got it done, man. So the lesson that we learned through this escapade of handling this interior water claim was that you have to be able to hand off something in a particular space in the process, and the next person immediately know what to do with it. This is crucially important to the success of businesses. This is the foundation in which you build your business on, your system and your process. Once you can put that in place, you can replicate it over and over and over and grow and scale and do crazy fucking things like my boy Kurt did, buy a fucking Bugatti, because you figure out how to manipulate systems and processes in order to help other people succeed and to help other people make income and change their lives and to impact homeowners' lives and to do all those great things. Understand, hey, listen, if you're motivated, I want to address this real quick. If you're motivated by money and cars and jets and clothes and things like that, ain't nothing fucking wrong with that, man. There is nothing wrong with being motivated by some shit that you want, some material things. All the cars and the stuff, there's only one way to get it, though. Pour into other people, impact other people's lives, put them up, help them succeed. By proxy, you will be successful. My name's Dave Taggart. I'm the Roof Poppy, the motherfucking CEO at A5 Roofing, your favorite roofer's favorite roofer, and I'm out of here.